Well, still here in the shop. Still is shit outside. I never actually made a second video in the same day. But, anyways, I feel I should touch on further on some things that I kind of mentioned, but, almost seemed like I was blaming people, I think, in the way I said it. I mean, in a way, it is blaming people. I'd say in today's modern world, we're taught to consume. We're not taught to produce. We're taught to consume. And consume and consume and consume, because that's what makes the economy grow. And we all gotta rely on the economy. A fiat currency that is not, it's fiat. It's not standardized to anything. These days, most of the currency is just arbitrary ones and zeros on a computer. Not even paper money. Let alone having the banks having gold in the vaults to back up the money. Like how the States used to do up until Nixon destandardized the dollar. How Canada did up till 1913. Of course, Canada managed to avoid the inflation of fiat currency until the 70s because, we were so tied in with the US economy, and because theirs was standardized, it kind of kept our markets balanced. But then Nixon destandardized the dollar, and Trudeau Sr., Pierre, allowed international bank, the IMF essentially, or WEF, inside of Canada. And then you can look it up, inflation spikes. Google that shit. But anyways, yeah, we're taught to consume. And some places it's enforced, you're not allowed to grow gardens in certain, what are they called? Not suburb, zoning districts or whatever. There's different terms depending on the locale you're at. It's like how some places use counties and here we use municipalities, right? But yeah, divisions, subdivisions, and whatnot. They have different building codes and zoning laws, property use management agreements. Yeah, just different ways that they can regulate what you're allowed to do. And so, yeah, they teach you, be a good consumer, go buy stuff. They don't teach you how to do anything for yourself. Look at the schools now, half of them, I shouldn't say half. In some districts, less than half the kids can read, write, and do standard arithmetic for their grade level, let alone learn automotives and construction and home ec. Yeah. They're taking out those kinds of courses too, apparently, out of, there's not funding for them. I don't pretend that I know what the best answer is. Maybe that no student left behind thing isn't working, because if they haven't grasped the concepts of the grade they're in, and then you're pushing them into the next grade just because they shouldn't fall behind, you're making them even more behind because they don't have the concepts from before mastered to help them learn the new concepts. You're just pushing their head further underwater, essentially, is my opinion. My uneducated hillbilly out in the middle of the woods opinion. What do I know, right? It's not like I can clear ground with heavy equipment, compact it, level it, compact it, put up forms, tie rebar, pour concrete, frame walls, put up rafters, run electrical, plumbing, insulation, vapor barrier, do the exterior, whether it's tin, vinyl siding, whether the roof's shingle or tin, or tile. Well, I haven't worked with roofing tiles yet. I actually don't really want to. I like tin. Just pull the sheet up, screw it down. You've got a huge section done. It's quick. Yeah, not like I can do that. Not like I know how to plant gardens, grow crops, raise livestock. I mean, I worked for an apiary, so I can keep bees. I even worked with one guy who did queen breeding, so I can even breed queens. Yeah, not like I have useful skills or anything. Not that I'm trying to brag. I've been around guys pretty much in every occupation I've done that definitely made me feel amateurish. Like I'm a jack of all trades, definitely a master of none. But because I've seen the aspects of so many different things, I kind of understand fairly well how, not necessarily how the economics of all the industries put together all flow in and everything, because like with the regulations, the tax codes, all that, it gets pretty muddled. But I have a literal understanding of the physical workings of a lot of infrastructure and whatnot. Boy, do I sound smart. Whatnot. But yeah, and like honestly, I'd say in the last 15 years, you can notice a marked decline in the competency of the labor force. Like when I first started out, 20 years ago, doing jobs like working on the rigs and whatnot. I gotta stop saying that. Guys that came out, they knew hand tools, they knew power tools. Like guys from the city, not like, yeah, farm boys know that shit. We've been working with that shit since our age was a single digit. But yeah, city boys actually knew how to change their own oil, rotate tires, change their brakes. They knew how to... They knew the difference between a pipe wrench and a screwdriver. Now it's like... And they'd work. Like, they could actually work. Physical manual labor for a 12-hour shift. Like now you get guys coming out 20 years old and they're sneaking off into corners to go play on their phone. They're getting grumpy and want to file HR complaints if you're like, hey, put down the fucking phone and do your fucking job. And I'm like, man, I remember when I was on this one rig, kid came out, he was working. Tool Push caught him using his phone while we were doing a rig move, which is like a rig move. Everyone is head down, ass up, getting shit done. He's sneaking off into a corner to use his phone. So Tool Push tells him, no more of that. Get caught again, you either lose your job or you lose your phone. Even hung a picture of the kid, because he come around. Tool Push has his cell phone because like it's a business phone. He has to be able to contact the office. Office has to be able to contact him. Takes a picture, posts it, don't be this fool. Right? Picture of kid talking on his phone. Whatever, days off come. Kid goes on days off. This is years ago, so I can't remember. It was like the iPhone 5 or something just come out. It might have been 6. I can't remember. But yeah, after days off, kid bought a new phone, comes to work. It's like 3rd or 4th shift. Tool Push got him again. Using his phone. Just hiding around the corner. Just come out for the crew changeover meeting. There's both crews standing around this kid on the matting as he took a sledgehammer to a phone that he'd had for less than 2 weeks. And he didn't want to lose his job. Paid enough that he could buy a new phone. Right? And yeah, after that, he never did get caught on his phone again. But yeah, if you were to do that now, the Tool Push would get fired and the kid would probably get promoted. And that's a growing thing. Like, I won't work in the city again. I spent last year working in the city. I'm going back to the rigs. Like, I was sick of going around corners and there's the 2 guys that are supposed to be helping me smoking cigarettes, bullshitting with each other, passing a phone around, looking up TikToks and shit. So like, yeah, I'm done with working in the city with a bunch of city slickers. Like, no joke. I think that's a growing thing amongst people, like not just rural people, but people from the city that still can work. They're getting sick of it and they're finding places, suburbs, small towns to move into. Like, homes are cheaper. And I don't know what the answer is, but I think there's one of the answers is to make people realize like their entitlement is starting to get a little excessive, especially, you know, when there's the production, the people that are doing the producing aren't making the same kind of living as the people that sit and bitch and whine that they're not getting enough. Well, they're not well, at the same time, they're also not producing any goods to put into the market. Like, you can only rob Peter to pay Paul so many times before Peter's like, fuck you, I'm done. I don't know. I think there's a lot of heads that need to get pulled out of asses and realize they're not putting the value into their communities that they're expecting the communities to invest in them. Like, I would say online commentators, like the really big ones, are some of the worst examples. Same with Hollywood and athletes, right? Like, these guys are paid millions. Not necessarily influencers and shit online. I'm talking to Hollywood and them. And they don't invest as much into the community as the people that they then use their platforms to tell to invest in the community. Like, when's the last time you seen Leonardo DiCaprio do a garbage cleanup, even though he's, you know, a climate activist that flies private jets and parties on private yachts that burn a fuck ton of fuel? Like, when's the last time you seen these people that are advocating for the homeless get out and build low-income housing. When's the last time you've seen people that are speaking out about anything, really, actually put their money where their mouth is and be part of the solution rather than just be a squeaky wheel? Saying things that they know their audience wants to hear so that their audience will give them, the, what do you call it, friggin' chats, super chats, the super chat money and whatnot. Like, honestly, they might have a little get together where they come out and sign some stuff for their audience and speak with the audience. But other than expel hot air in front of a camera or in front of an audience, how many of these big name celebrities, influencers, can you think of that are actually going out and investing into their communities? And not just the tax write-off charity donations. I mean actually putting time, money, and effort, real money, real time, real effort, using their platforms to organize groups to help solve these problems, rather than just use their platform to bitch and moan and ask you to sub, like, subscribe, and please check out my other link that takes you to a paywall. Really? Think about it. Really think about it.